Hey everyone, Ekman here with another video, and if you guys were noticing, this week we had a huge announcement for pretty much every card game that I cover here: Digimon, One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, and Battle Spirit Saga. So I normally don't do a lot of these videos going over like news and like announcements and stuff, but since it's something that kind of goes over all of the card games and most of what this channel is all about in general, I wanted to make a big video going over it. So we're just kind of doing two things. One, we're going to be going over the announcements that were made this week, as well as just kind of my thoughts on the second half of it. So I'll kind of pin towards where the discussion switches if you want to, but this is going to be a little bit of like off the cuff. I have some talking points, but not as I'd say scheduled or as thought out as some of my other videos. So forgive me for being a little bit spontaneous for this one. But this, all this news just kind of came out, and want to make a video as soon as I can, and I'm traveling and everything else. So that's kind of what we got for this time. But the short and long of it is that we have this huge kind of big event in January, right? And also, a lot of this information is going to be more on the North American side, just because that's what I'm more accustomed to. There is information for international, and essentially everyone is still getting like individual nats, but it looks like for specifically us here in North America, we have this huge mega event that's being called the Bandai Card Games Fest. So, including in this video, which I can link this in the description too, for you guys who want to check it out. But they announced that we're doing this thing called the Bandai Card Games Fest 23 to 24 World Tour, and it's maybe a little bit more of just Asia plus LA tour, but that's fine. That's the world, I suppose. But in Los Angeles up here, but it is essentially it looks like whatever issues that I think Bandai was having in the past, where if you guys go to events, like it was really difficult for them to kind of cross branding between their card games, and we have had like the Dragon Ball Fest and like last year Digimon Fest and all those kind of events, but none of them were fests that could be put together, right? And kind of like the Digimon Fest last year was kind of nationals and the whole kind of thing, but it looks like what they're wanting to do for this one and kind of what they've rebranded. They have this whole new logo with the bee made out of cards, which is really neat. It's just Bandai card games, right? And maybe this is more of just like also our marketing, where like there's Bandai Namco games. I think they're maybe marketing say we're not just Bandai, we're Bandai card games, so that is like a separate entity inside itself. I don't know. These are some of this is just my thoughts, and maybe these are wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong in the comments too. But they're having this huge world tour going across all this, and then so we have our Los Angeles event here, which is going to be January 27th and 28th of next year, and then it looks like the tour final is in Japan on March 2nd and 3rd. It might be 3rd and 4th also. I've seen like both in both places, but what have you. But here for North America specifically, and you can see all of these events. I can link all these in the description too as well, but they're saying that all of these are happening. There's going to be world finals for One Piece March 3rd and 4th, and Digimon. BSS and Dragon Ball is a little bit less detailed for this one, but Digimon and One Piece are pretty much the same thing. They're going to be a world championship. A chance to get to that, which is really interesting, and we have the event here as well. So we'll see on the Digimon one. It's TBA. It's 27th, 28th LA, and it's going to be during that fest. And then also for One Piece, kind of similar. There are other events around the world too. So the North American one is a little bit special because it is this 4 at once compared to these ones. I haven't actually checked these. Are these all happening at the same time? Yeah. For example, for Latin America, for Digimon, it's January 5th and 6th, but for One Piece, it is the 27th and 28th. So I think every other region in the English version is having their own separate events, but we have this one specifically for this one. When's Oceania? They're at the same event. Okay, some of them might be at the same time, but not all of them. I'm supposing. So only the North American one's like super centralized for that one. So that is kind of how that works. And so like we're just having a big event. And honestly, I feel like the event that's happening in November, there's the event that Core is putting together in Pasadena. It has all 4 games, and I think that might be maybe like a test for what that kind of looks like, I guess. But this will definitely be like the big one for that one. So also I do want to mention too, I can't like watch their videos, but you can watch this. They kind of just talk about all their card games that exist, including Union Arena somewhere in here. Yeah, so maybe that's coming as well. It's on like some of the promotional stuff, but we know the Union Arena is definitely like out in like Asia and Japan right now, so it might just be branding based on that existing there, but that might be something. If you guys want me to make some content on Union Arena too, or look into it more, let me know. I can definitely do that. So, but yeah, finals for all 4 games, at least in North America, happening assumingly at the same time, or at least the same place, is what I'm kind of getting for that one. So, and then kind of like the other big announcement, kind of, and this is only for One Piece, I think Digimon confirmed right now. Dragon Ball, like we didn't really talk about it, but it's a little bit lacking on like the North American side. Their Twitter post said like stay tuned for more information. They're just saying it's happening. So that is kind of what we're doing here. So I actually don't even, this, I don't even know if it actually said that. I think they did confirm that it is happening at this event, but it's sparse for right now. So I guess we'll figure out what that is. And also Battle Spirits is a little bit different. So this one is invite pending, because you do have like the World Championship one. So they have like a lot more to be announced. They're invite only. It's January 27th, 28th. So that's happening at its own time, but that's just different in general. But for Digimon and One Piece, at least confirmed, is that invites are not needed for either of these events. So the invites that you have instead, so North American players who want an invite from regionals will have priority registration and receive 2-round buys in place of their invite. And this is, I believe, in both of these guys. So for both of them. So that is kind of how that is. My guess too is that this is an event, especially since there's so many events going on at the same time at high capacity. It just means that space is limited in the convention center. So it is kind of like how Digimon Nats worked last year, where they had a room capacity for the event. So you have to register beforehand, which means that as long as you register before, I'm guessing like the go live date is, which no idea when that is. For the record, they haven't said anything. I'm guessing is when the last regional has happened. Sometime after that and before the event is when the registration goes live. So you can figure that out. But being able to, you have priority access for your invite, which means you're, as long as you like keep up on it, guaranteed to get a spot into it, and then also the 2-round buy for that one. So I think Digimon kind of did something similar. Though they had invites, but it was a little bit different last year, but kind of how it is. So and assumedly all of the events are going on at the same time. I don't think that's there. And then I already talked about the war. So that's pretty much most of the information for that one. Bullet points are, looks like Bandai is consolidating all their card games into one more centralized group than just Bandai. There's a big event in Fest World Tour that LA gets a spot of, and then in January. And at this event, we're going to be having events for all 4 games. Most of them looking like they're like the regional national finals for them. And no invites needed for Digimon or One Piece, probably Dragon Ball, but they haven't confirmed anything yet. And then also 2-round buy for your invites and priority registration for that one. So those are kind of like the main facts for that one. And I'm going to switch to this slide so we can kind of know when I switched over to actually talking about my thoughts about this. So a couple of thoughts, and I've been seeing people talk about this online as well. And so the first big thing is removing invites, and I'm seeing people happy about it, and I've been seeing people a little bit upset about it, and I get kind of both sides. And so this is my idea, and this is and maybe this is a little bit late for saying this into the video, but I'll say it right here. I'm not like as affected, I feel like, as a lot of other people for this, because I didn't try for invites for really anything this year. I've been doing a lot more of the production and the commentary for it. So I will say, like, I'm a step back from this affecting me personally a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly, for December, January, but now the fact that I can play in Nats without an invite is cool for me, but I'll remove that from this thought process here. So but yeah, I'm pretty removed from kind of the more technical of being a player, and it's because I'm usually on kind of like the production side of it anyways. But I can understand why they would want to remove invites, and the fact that I will say some games don't have a lot of invites. Specifically, I don't think it's any mystery that they've been really focusing on One Piece, because it's the newer game right now, and so they've been having more events, more regionals, more treasure cups, etc. And because of that, there are more invites that have been gone out. And but at the same time, that I don't know, they just want to. I don't know. The big thing I'm trying to dance around is that my guess is, if this is supposed to be like a really big event and they want to show probably to investors or to the company or whatever that people love these card games and showing up, they can't do that with an exclusive event, right? They can't do that with saying, oh, well, we wanted to make this as big as possible, but at the same time, we have to be exclusive with who we show up with, right? I'm not saying that's also like a good line of thought. That's just kind of what my thought is. So my guess is that they're like, okay, we want all these seats filled, so we're going to make it open, and we don't want to restrict people from playing in these events. And I also say, like, sometimes, like, I know a lot of people in Digimon are more worried about their invites, especially since they did remove them from the store championships, like they did last year. And Dragon Ball, honestly, I will say, I don't. Again, we don't know if Dragon Ball, if invites are removed or not. People who want their invites for Dragon Ball, they get it. And shouts to Ivo for having that Excel sheet for all the people who have invites. But if like it gets down to like 40th place at times. So if you wanted a Dragon Ball Super invite, you can get one. Like you people are grinding for. I know there's not as many events, but we'll be honest, those events don't cap out as much. And so like the fact that like the invite gets passed down so far just means to me that they're, if you wanted to really get your invite, you could just play in 2 or 3 regionals, and chances, as long as you're solid enough and you've put the time into it, you can get that invite. So I don't think Dragon Ball as is infected. You can call me out for that if you think I'm wrong, but I know Digimon specifically, a lot of people were upset about how difficult regional invites were for this year, so that kind of solves that one. And so generally, I think most of the people from the Digimon side are happy about it. I do think there's some people on the One Piece side who are maybe less happy about it, strictly because I think the invites were a little bit more exclusive for it, and the fact that I think that they are grinder in general for what they were. I also don't like. I get my guess is what they wanted that to be the plan, and they were like, hey, we're doing this big for all event instead, and you want One Piece to be as big as possible, so they had to backtrack it, right? So it sucks. I don't think it's super fair, the fact that they kind of walked back how those invites work. It is nice that you do get something for your invite, but I do agree that it's something that is probably lessened from what you were kind of expecting for it. So I know a lot of people are really competitive. I also know that like a lot of people spent a lot of time and money to try to get these events, and like sacrifice a lot just to get the regional invite, and now it's worth a little bit less than they thought it was, right? So I do understand that, and I do think it's something that it's whittling down from this is supposed to be an exclusive event, and especially since this is the first year of One Piece competitively in North America, I think a lot of people are really competitive about it, and there's a lot of people who from other card games are coming into this game with that competitive mindset, and to kind of just edge away a little bit of that, I think is maybe a little bit disappointing for those people. So that's kind of, I get that. I think in general it's good for this, but again, I would say I'm a bit removed from the competitive side, and there is that. So let me know if you are happy or upset. But I mean, obviously it's people who don't have invites are probably happy. People who do have invites are probably a little bit on the more unhappy side, and there are less people who have invites, so like it's easy to skew it that way, but I don't know. Also, the other kind of thing I'm thinking about is that all of these events are happening at the same time, which is interesting. I do think I will say that I feel like I'm a rarity of someone who covers all 4 of these card games. Maybe more of the Digimon and One Piece side right now than the BSS and the Dragon Ball side right now. But they're games that I cover all the time, and obviously I put all these I work really hard on my website to put the event list up and make sure that there's coverage, and making sure that people who want to get into these games, there are resources available for them, right? And so because of that, I'm a person who could see myself wanting to play in any one of these events, and then I'm kind of having to be regulated into one of them. So I think that's a little bit. It's a little unfortunate they're all happening at the same time, because I know that there are definitely people who would want to be in the Digimon finals and the One Piece finals, right? And now they're going to have to make that decision of which card game they want like more, and they weren't able to play both at the same time, or both at the same time, or both finals in the same year, right? So I feel like that's a little bit unfortunate for it. I think I don't know how many people are actually affected by that. I think a lot of people will automatically know which game they like more, and they'll be playing in it. But I also think that there is they'll be getting a little bit of FOMO for not being able to play in the other one at the same time. So I don't know if that's just more restricted to me. It's really hard to gauge how many people watch my content for just me, or just one specific card game, or all the card games, or what have you. So that's something else from the decision point. So but I do think it's because of that, there are some opportunities that people are going to miss out on playing in the finals, even if they got like a registration or like a finals into it, or something that they just might not happen for it. So I think that's something that's a little bit rough because of this. But I also say on the positive side, it is really, really cool to see all 4 of these card games, or 4+ card games, I guess, happening at the same time. And I think that I'm really excited for this event. I'm really excited to see more of what it's going to look like, and the scheduling and everything else on on that side, and it should be fun. I'm really excited about it, and yeah, again, like we usually just have like it regulated to only one event, so being able to have all the events at the same time and hopefully more in the future too. Again, like Pasadena, we're having that, which is I thought was like a one-time thing, and now if this is more of what we're looking like, that's kind of neat. So I think that's really all I want to talk about this on the kind of the grand scheme of it. It would be cool to see what these other ones look like. We have one in Hong Kong on November 11th, so we'll be able to see what they look like in Asia. And I know it's a little bit tricky to get coverage of events and stuff from there, but I'm looking forward to it. And maybe we get Union Arena. We get new Dragon Ball stuff. There was like a little information about Fusion World dropping as well around this time, so I'm excited for that. That's coming out in February. And I don't really think I have anything else of value for this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know a little bit different from my usual content, but did want to talk about it because, it talks about all the content we do make on this channel, and looking forward to seeing what you guys are thinking about these announcements too. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.